everybody, welcome back, glad to have you. As I mentioned last time, this one's going to be a little bit different. Normally with films you should be watching, I try to stick to films that nobody's heard of but should have. Or at least the more obscure. But, because I've spent enough time picking on people who don't go to the movies to read, I feel I should at least reach out to these people and help. If you've never seen a foreign film before, or your foreign film experience is very limited, it could be hard to know where to start. Because there's a lot of them out there. It's almost like these countries are making their own movies all the time instead of just relying on Hollywood. It's very strange. Don't they know that only good movies come from Hollywood? So what I'd like to do is introduce you to 3 films that hopefully most of you have seen. But if you haven't, you should. These are 3 movies that you see first. You see these 3 foreign films, and it gives you a taste and it gives you a feel that, wow, there might be something to this going to the movies and reading stuff. The first film I'd like to talk to you about is Amelie. Amelie is a French film. It's gorgeous. It stars Audrey Tautou, who I've talked about before. And it's very well made. Now here's the thing. I haven't seen Amelie in probably about a year, and I don't remember the plot very well. It's the life of a very shy waitress who tries to discover more out of life. And the fact that the plot doesn't stick with me tells me that the plot is not the important part of this movie. It's a great movie. It's gorgeously filmed. It's entertaining. It's funny. And here's the thing, though. It doesn't do what a lot of French films do, and I hate this about the French cinema. But it is part of their style to end a movie before the end. You'll watch a movie, and it'll be an hour and a half of building up to this big decision that a character's got to make. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? And then, like, he'll step up. You know what I'm gonna do? And then the movie ends. And that's typical in French cinema. It's not in all of them, but it's in about 60-70% of them. It's something about the makeup of the nation. I'm not sure what leads them to have this, but it is typical in French cinema, and Amelie doesn't do that. Now, there are people out there who like that, and I can understand the purpose for it. It lets the audience finish it in their own mind, and that's fine. I just like a little bit more closure in my films. It doesn't mean I'm not going to watch French cinema, it just means I don't like it when they do that, personally. Amelie doesn't do that, so you don't need to worry about it. Go see Amelie. The second film I would like to talk to you about is German. It's Run, Lola, Run. Now, Run, Lola, Run is good for anybody. Seriously, it's not a very good example of German filmmaking, I don't think. It's a good example of, like, MTV filmmaking. It's very quick, it's very fast-paced, it's very well made. It does have a unique quirk in that it's the same movie told 3 different ways. And when you see it, you'll understand, but it has to do with how leaving your house a couple seconds earlier or a couple seconds later could completely change the course of your day. And the film actually does a neat thing where, in snapshots, very quick, it shows us how the people that Lola interacts with, how their lives change depending on when she runs into them. It's very fast-paced, the music is great. Franca Potenta, who plays Lola, looks fantastic running around. A little grungy, perhaps, but I can live with it. It's a very fast-paced film. I wouldn't call it an action film necessarily, because that comes with a lot of connotations. You say action film and you're thinking the Die Hard and the Indiana Jones, and this isn't that necessarily. But it is very fast-paced. It is very well put together. The director did go on with the same cast to make a feature-length film that was one story, told one way, called The Princess and the Warrior. Don't see that. Stick with Run, Lola, Run. It's really... The only reason it's a foreign film is because it's in German, and I know that sounds ridiculous to say. But if you were to dub everything into English, there's nothing about it that necessarily feels foreign. It's possibly the most accessible foreign film for anybody to go see. And the last film I want to discuss is a more modern one. It's called Pan's Labyrinth. Pan's Labyrinth is amazing. The visuals are stunning. It's the story of a young girl who finds herself wrapped up in this land of magic, and it turns out She's actually the long-lost daughter of a magical king, and to rejoin him, she has to go through these adventures. It's a little Alice in Wonderland-ish, the story, but the visuals are incredible. It's dark. The visuals are darker than an Alice in Wonderland, but it's really well made, and some of these images are going to stick in your mind for a long time. The story itself, solid. No complaints about the story. The acting is good. It's really the visuals that sell this one. So there you go. Amelie, Run Lola Run, Pan's Labyrinth. Go watch those three. Go watch those 3 foreign films, and then come back, and maybe your perception of foreign films will have changed. And if you have seen them, go watch them again. I intend to, actually. The fact that I can't remember the plot of Amelie makes me want to see Amelie again. And you should too. They're all spectacular. So that's it. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for pretending to care about what I have to say.